us on.
In the world, and she's the top seed of the tournament. She has won 16 WTA singles titles.
Of course, Aryna Sabalenka, 26 years of age. And Olga, welcome to you. I mean, the way Aryna has now found such a good place in her life, really, and enjoying tennis, playing some of the best tennis of her career, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely. She's living her life, best life. I think tennis is her life, traveling is her life, you know, her team is her life. And I think she's really in balance with all these aspects right now. And you could see her results, especially this summer, and on a 15-match win streak after winning Cincy, US Open, and kind of unstoppable, and already showing some amazing matches here, great tennis, and just a complete
player. Certainly has proved that, but so is Karolina Muchova, although yet to perhaps achieve the results that her opponent has done. But she has a game for all surfaces, and after coming back from that long layoff due to a wrist injury from the US Open last year, she didn't play again until Eastbourne this year, but she's on the rise again. She is poised perhaps to break back inside the top 40. Were she to win this match, she would do that. She's currently 41 in the live rankings, having started the week at number 49, and again, you know, had a good run in New York herself. She's been a runner-up at Roland Garros in the past, so she loves to play all-court tennis, and she's just got such sort of natural talent, and obviously has got these wins against Sabalenka previously, 2 of them last year, one at Roland Garros and another one in Cincinnati. Both those matches going the distance. Do you expect this to go the distance, and do you see the same outcome?
Yeah, I think it will be a very competitive match, as you said, and she has a game to destroy these kind of players like Sabalenka. And as she said herself, Muchova, that it will be nice to face in the challenge and compare my game with Sabalenka again, you know, where else you can learn more than when you challenge the best. That was her quote just before this match. And I mean, it's only her 7th tournament. Yeah. But she said that she's used to start and stop now, so the belief is there.
It is, isn't it? I mean, she's come back, you know, so impressively, and yet you have to say Sabalenka, I mean, what she was like in 2023 was pretty good, but what she's become now this year, with 2 major titles she defended in Australia and now as a US Open champion as well, she's playing the best tennis out there right now on the tour, isn't she, to have achieved all that?
In the middle of your best career, it's not easy to do, but to go for it. And yeah, she said that she thinks it's really important to always improve herself, and she feels that to put even more pressure on opponents, to know that she's not only a big hitter, but has variation as well.
Indeed. Well, we've just had sight initially of the Sabalenka team, Anton Dubrov, who was in the middle of the 3 guys, and there just now we saw Kirsten Flipkens, former fine player herself, with a lot of sort of variety in her game, now working along with Emil Misk alongside Karolina Muchova. So he played, best be played. Aryna Sabalenka against Karolina Muchova coming up for us right now from Beijing. Big addition to her way of playing is a sort of greater sense of calm now on the court, more poise. She used to get rather flustered and very overwrought. And yet she's going to have to still have some force here, because Muchova, as we've already seen, can manoeuvre the ball so well. And look to test Sabalenka in those corners, no doubt. Although we know, and she's proved that she's, you know, an even better player. She knows the last 2 meetings have gone. She did win her first encounter, which was in Zhuhai back in 2019.
Sabalenka is way more comfortable at the net as well right now. They want to play a cat and mouse game against Karolina Muchova.
Brilliantly, and bringing break points to this opening game. Sabalenka, who's playing her 10th straight quarter-final, her 12th of the year.
Of course, a lot of confidence on Sabalenka's side, but still to go for it. Facing a break point.
Of course, these 2 could have faced each other at the US Open final this year, and might well have done had to built on that first set lead she had against Jessica Pegula, but it turned against her that day. Of course, beating Pegula for the title.
For Muchova to win that match against Jessica Pegula, that probably she lost a bit of a focus there in a completely different way.
Look at the way she's setting up to drive it, and then all of a sudden a slice, vicious slice applied to it, which it needed, and it's so well done to save a third break point already. It's not a swagger, but it's just, it is poise, isn't it? Calmly just getting herself ready. Think of the problems she used to have with double faults, particularly on serves under stress.
Right, Barry, the presence is also so important for the players, and I think she has now every aspect of the game, even her presence on the court is going the right direction.
Eyes her well enough, but what an opening game. 12-pointer, 7 winners.
Yeah, no doubt she's currently second on the tour in service games won, Sabalenka. It's ridiculous numbers.
So a terrific starting game to this day. Her tally of aces. And that's just the number in the WTA 1000. She's served 300 on the tour this year in total.
For coming to this match, she thinks that US Open helped her a lot, and she played some good matches, but she also had to overcome some tough battles before the tournament. And yeah, she said that she played practice with Iga Świątek just before, and it helped her to show where her game is. Wrist feels good, and she can have she can be back to swinging full and have no pain. It's positive news for her.
So Iga Świątek, you mentioned her, the world #1, not playing this week. Withdrew for personal reasons. She's had the better of Sabalenka on the clay this year. Those finals in Rome and Madrid, but on hard courts it won't be a different outcome. Certainly Sabalenka playing superbly on this surface, looking for her 50th win of the year.
Slightly different seasons between these two players.
Having just spoken about Świątek and talked about her opting out of here for personal reasons, she's now announced that she has actually split with her coach. And that's what she can do, really punish anything that's lacking from Sabalenka. Third quarter-final, the first of today, the second one to follow in a few hours' time. Zvonareva taking on the Chinese #1, Zhang Qinwen.
To net as much as she can. This match just put that pressure on Sabalenka to defend, put her in the defending position.
Who has been a top 10 player. Injured, she did get as high as #8 in the world. But she has just the one title so far, which was in Seoul 5 years ago. Imagine that tally will certainly rise. It certainly should do with the skills she has at her disposal.
That ability that Sabalenka have to play every single shot 100%, to commit. I think this is what stands out about her game. And she played her a couple of times. One of them was semi-final at Wimbledon, and you could see that the game is huge from Sabalenka, but it was a bit rare, and the choices, the selection of shots was not the right ones for her. And I was thinking, ooh, she's becoming really dangerous. And she just decided to go for it, not thinking, just be committed to everything. From Sabalenka, that she did it without psychologists, as she's talking, that she had a sports psychologist, and then she thought that it's not helping me, I have to overcome all these things by myself because it's my problems. And she's kind of doing it.
The force again not controlled as she needed to at the finish there. So Muchova managing calmly enough herself. She is a very poised player on the court to level this up. Let's just get your reaction, though, to the news that Świątek has now split with her coach of 3 years. I mean, she's thanked him for it, but she's talking about, in this early discussion with a non-Polish coach, perhaps for the future, and that announcement will come out in a few weeks, presumably.
Coaches, so basically just two of them. So I'm sure she's thinking she's ready, but there is also always a downside about it when the players work too much with their compatriot coaches. Are they ready for a new challenge?
Świątek does work closely with a sports psychologist. Obviously, she's a very intense sort of individual on the court. Very thoughtful.
Serve returns started to put pressure a bit on Aryna Sabalenka. But yeah, I guess every player different, and in case with Sabalenka, she decided to do it herself. In case of Świątek, she's doing it with the help of sports psychologists, as many players do right now. I think it's a very important aspect of the game these days, always being away from home.
Excelled on the clay, particularly at Roland Garros, winning another Roland Garros title. However, the disappointment of not winning the Olympic title on clay back there, the disappointment of Wimbledon and New York as well. So
I mean, she put such a high standard on herself, on her team, that it's really tough to live up to them.
Formalities out of the way, and we can settle in here before we begin. Of course, confirmation of the weather conditions. We have the roof outside. It's very wet, and it's been that way all day, and it's causing some issues, I think, for the organisers now, because we are at the second round stage. There's a lot of matches to play at this stage, but nothing going on just here and on Long Glen. The focus at the moment. Guy McCree and Nick Brown preparing to take you through this. Nick, great to work with you again on this one. It's got a lot going for it on paper. I mean, we start with Iga Świątek. No issues in the first round, really, with Liu Jiangxi, and that's been the case, really, through the clay swing for Iga.
Yeah, it is. Well, this is the time of the year that she looks forward to, because obviously she was brought up on clay. It's her best surface by a mile. She moves so well. She has to, for me, she's got the best defense in women's tennis at the moment, and obviously that is a big part of her game.
Absolutely. The narrative generally really interesting, coming back, of course, from maternity leave and everything else. But what have you made of her on clay so far? Because she's actually played all the lead-ups, and she played against Bronzetti in the first round. What are you making of her right now?
Yeah, I have to say, you know, she's actually started to improve on the clay. Quite a couple of years ago, she was made it quite clear she didn't enjoy playing on clay. She hit the ball very flat, not too much patience to be able to construct the point, which obviously the attributes you need when you're playing on clay courts. And you know, she actually in Rome a couple of weeks ago, she actually started to put the jigsaw together a little bit.
Yeah, no, definitely. She's been spending some time training at Rafael Nadal's academy as well, really embracing the surface a little bit more perhaps than she did in the past, I think. And I think so much of it's in the mind, isn't it? No one doubts her ability to strike a tennis ball, but yeah, seems to want to embrace the challenge of playing on clay.
Yeah, and you know, I think she's not going to dramatically change a game to play on clay, but there's certain adjustments you have to make in terms of the margins, playing with a little bit more spin sometimes to be able to use the surfaces in your favour.
You saw there previously, of course, to her time off the tour, third round on 3 occasions in Paris, but a different, yeah, as we say, different kind of sense around her where she is now. Of course, so much has been written and spoken about that coming back to the tour. We talk about the longer game with this as well. We always look at head-to-heads and everything else here. I mean, is there anything you can pick the bones out of that? I mean, they haven't met, of course, for a little over a couple of years. It's 1 each on that, but if not met in play, either of those two previous meetings are both on American hard courts or North American hard courts.